Welcome to the Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media here in the sports entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm your host, Ian Rakelli, and we have an amazing show planned out for you. MLB offseason's about to kick off. Teams are going to go out and get the best free agents money can buy. NBA season is in full effect. NHL season in full effect. But we need to focus on the most important topic of the matter, and it's not the World Cup, which is going to be watched by 3.5 billion people all around the world. Instead, we're going to talk about the NFL Week 10. And I've had you on the show before, but you're so knowledgeable, I got to bring you back on time and time again. Dennis Holmes from the Ignorant Thinkers podcast. Welcome back to the show. How's it going, my friend?
Hey, man, how's everything going, baby? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. You know, the World Cup's about to kick off. I'm Team England, so go England for the World Cup, but that's besides the point. Now,
Okay.
I will say NFL Week 10, there's a lot to go over. So that game against Atlanta and Carolina, did you watch any of it, or did you just take a nap like the rest of the world?
Watch the whole game.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I watched the whole game because I really wanted to know in what world does Marcus Mariota gives you the best chance to win this game, to win, period.
All right. Now,
That's
who's
what I
going to
wanna
win
know.
that crap division of the NFC South? Who's going to win it?
I want the Panthers to win it so bad. I really do. You really don't know how bad I want the Panthers to win that division. Because for everything that happened to Steve Wilkes when he was with Arizona, and now he's getting a second chance, and you know how they do interim coaches. You know, they'll put him in there and this whatever. Like a lot of people are upset about Jeff Saturday's situation, but he's put in there for whatever. And then in the offseason, they'll look for their real coach. I mean, to
It's like
be
what
honest
happened
with
here
you,
in Vegas with Rich Bisaccia.
yeah, like to be honest with you, they're looking for their real coach now. They're having conversations with their real coach now. You know what I mean? So interim coach don't really get that much love. But for Steve Wilkes to go and win that division would really look good for his chances to get a long-term contract.
You know what? For Steve Wilkes' sake, I hope he does, because when he was in Arizona, he was in a lose-lose situation. They did not give him any chance to succeed in
And
Arizona. So you know what? I hope you're 100% right. I hope it does work out. You know, what the Panthers are probably going to do, however, is bring in a defensive coordinator from somebody else, and they're going to make them their head coach. Let's just be honest. That's what they're probably going to do. They're going to hire
if,
somebody
if
on the
I'm
defensive side.
if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I gotta pay the last guy for the next 4 years. I think I go with Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes wins this division. I go with Steve Wilkes, and I look to get me a GM that Steve Wilkes and them can connect with. I keep PJ Walker as a quarterback, but he'll be a gateway quarterback for the guy that I'm drafting because I'm trying to draft a guy like I'm trying to get a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Bryce Young would be the fit of the guy that they want.
What about Will Levis? What about him?
No, I don't believe in Will Levis.
Hey, you know
That's just me.
what?
I
It'll
don't
be
believe.
interesting to see what happens. Because here in Vegas, by the way, we are in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the Raiders are. I've been telling people that I wouldn't be surprised if they start tanking for CJ Stroud. If they try to get the number one pick and draft a replacement for Derek Carr, I wouldn't be
But
surprised.
they just paid him.
Yeah, but if they buy him out, they could save us $72 million, which is something that most people don't know. They'll save $72 million if they don't use that option for next year.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
it'd save them a lot of money.
Sounds like I thought that they already signed him to a long-term contract.
They did, but they have a opt-out clause, which they can just get rid of him, and it'll save them a bunch of money if they do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, you could do that. Go ahead.
All
But
right.
you got the wide receiver for a long-term deal, and I think he only signed because his quarterback was there. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, we'll see. You know, he said he was going to go from a Hall of Famer to a Hall of Famer. You know, Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr. So we'll see what happens with Devontae Adams. Now, you know what I really want, because I'm an agent of chaos. I want to see the Atlanta Falcons win that division at 7-10. Okay, 7-10. I want to see Atlanta win that division. It'd be the greatest thing ever. The 7-win team or a 10-loss team got to the playoffs and hosted a playoff game.
I would have to agree with you.
Shout out to Ron Thomas, by the way. I'm not picking on your team. Actually, yeah, I am picking on your team. But seriously, it'd be great.
Right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I think it's time for them to put the rookie in, personally, but we'll see how it goes. Shout out to the NFC South.
Yeah. Desmond Ridder, the best quarterback from that draft class. Now, moving on to the NFL Week 10 discussion here on the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio. I'm your host, Ian Kelly. We're here with Dennis Holmes from IgnorantThinkers podcast. So we have a very early game, a 6 a.m. game on Sunday.
For you.
That is
9:30 for me.
Yeah, 6:30 here in Las Vegas, 9:30 on the East Coast for you. That still would be early, in my opinion. But I'm going to say this. When it comes to this matchup, you have the best quarterback out in Seattle in this matchup. You got Geno Smith. He's going up against some guy named Tom Brady. Maybe you've heard of him.
Some guy? Hey.
Yeah, some guy named Tom Brady. Maybe you've heard of him.
Hey, man, Tom Brady is that guy, man. He's going through some things right now, but I think Tampa wins this game.
All right, you going with Tampa?
I'm going with Tampa. I think Tampa wins this game. I think this game is going to be too big for Geno. I think Tampa, the defense and everything in Germany, breathing that new air. You know, Todd Bowles to get that defense and them boys ready. I think Tampa wins this game.
So here's what's going to happen. While they're in Germany, Geno Smith, who is the best quarterback out of these two. I mean, Tom Brady's fallen apart this year. He's absolutely fallen apart, it seems. Geno Smith, who's having an MVP-type level. By the way, 25-1 odds to win MVP, Geno Smith. So, I'm going to say because Geno Smith's having such a great year, he's going to get paid, by the way, this offseason. I say Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks, they're 2.5 point underdog, according to FanDuel. So give me Seattle, give me plus 2.5. I trust Geno Smith. He's going to get the job done.
Okay. All right. Shout out to FanDuel.
Yeah, shout out to FanDuel. Now, the regular matchups that most people are going to see at 10 a.m. my time, 1 p.m. your time, we have an amazing matchup where you have the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. You have one NFC North team taking on another NFC North team. You have my Chicago Bears playing at home, taking on Detroit. So, the Chicago Bears, once again, thanks to FanDuel, they are a 3-point favorite in this matchup. Dennis, who do you got? You going to go with Jared Goff? You going to go with Dan Campbell? Going to go with Detroit Lions? Or are you going to go with my Chicago Bears?
I'm going to let everybody know I did get off the train, all right? But I got my bus pass for the Detroit Lions, the grit, all right? Got my grit bus pass. Just want to let everybody know that, all right? And I'm letting everybody know that I'm taking Detroit to win this game. Not on the train no more. I'm at the coffee shop. It's called the Greasy Spoon. Just want to let everybody know that. Right? Taking Detroit to win this game.
All right, you're taking Detroit to win this game. Well, you know what? I can't go against my Chicago Bears. I'm not going to go against them. They're 3-6. They're the same record as Green Bay Packers right now. The terrible Green Bay Packers, who I love to talk crap about. So I have Chicago having a better record than Green Bay. So give me the Chicago Bears to beat the Detroit Lions, and they go to 4-6 on the year and have a second place spot in the NFC North behind Minnesota. So give me Chicago, give me Justin Fields, and give me that -3.
Okay.
Now, this matchup could go one of two ways. Now, if Malik Willis is starting, it's going to go one way. But if Ryan Tannehill, Tanny Time, is starting, it might go a different direction. You know which one we're talking about. We got the Denver Broncos, Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, 2.5 point favorite in this matchup. So are you going to go with Broncos country, let's ride? Or are you going to go with Tanny Time? Who you got?
Let's ride. We're going with Denver. Let's ride. Denver wins this game. Russell Wilson finally lets everybody know where his ass was at. All right. Russell Wilson comes to play. And I've been telling people this for a while. He's a second half of the season type of guy. But they'll see. He finally lets everybody know where he had this time off. This was good for him. He's gonna let everybody know where his ass was at.
And as we're doing our NFL Week 10 discussion here on the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio, the voice of new media, I'm your host, Ian Kelly. We're here with Dennis Holmes from the IgnorantThinkers podcast. Well, I don't believe in Russell Wilson. To me, I think that his downfall is starting right now. And I believe in a king. In fact, I'm going to pick a king to win this game. And you know what king I'm talking about, Dennis? I'm talking about King Henry.
King Henry.
I'm talking about one of the best running backs we've seen in the last 4 years.
Okay.
So, give me the Tennessee Titans. Give me them the -2.5 according to FanDuel, because Tennessee Titans are playing at home, similar to the Bears situation, playing at home, and you're going up against a team that really does not do that great on the road. So, give me Tennessee, give me -2.5, and give me Tennessee to continue and stretch that lead in the AFC South.
Sounds good.
Now, our next matchup that we're going to go over here, you have the Houston Texans, who, by the way, Houston Waves won the World Series, fired their general manager immediately afterwards. But the Houston Astros, they won the World Series. So congrats to them. Round of applause to the Houston Astros win the World Series. Dusty Baker finally winning one. Congrats to him.
Congrats to Dusty Baker.
Yeah, I know that probably stings for you being a Phillies guy. But yeah, congrats to the Astros on winning the World Series. But yeah, Houston Texans taking on the New Jersey Giants out there in New Jersey. So Giants 5.5-point favorite according to FanDuel. So Dennis, are you going to go with Danny Jones, or are you going to go with the Houston Texans and Davis Mills? Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Danny Jones, but I don't think that they win by 5.5. I think it's gonna be a close game. So I'm gonna take Daniel Jones though, because that guy Damian Pierce that's a hell of a running back.
Oh, he's a monster.
Damn, man, there's a lot of good rookies playing right now. I don't know who's gonna win Rookie of the Year. We can keep it real. There's a lot of good rookies playing right now. I don't know who's gonna win it. Man,
yeah,
at one point I thought Bryce Hall had it wrapped up. Then Kenneth Walker showed out of nowhere, Damian Pierce, and then it's like you got rookie wide receivers out here making moves. I'm like, man. Yeah, but I'm taking Houston. I'm taking Houston to cover. I'm taking the Giants to win.
There you go. And we're kind of on the same mindset. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans here plus 5.5, because I do not see this being a touchdown game. I see this being a field goal type of game where it's going to be close in the fourth quarter. So give me the Houston Texans. You know what? They lose by a field goal. Great. I win. Houston Texans win by a field goal. Fantastic. I still win. So give me the Houston Texans plus 5.5 here.
I agree with that.
By the way, New Jersey Giants. I know Giants fans. I know Jets fans get mad at me. You play in New Jersey, I'm going to call you what you are. All right? You are the New Jersey Giants, and you're the New Jersey Jets. All right? You watch this show, you get used to it. So, next matchup, as we're talking about the NFL, Week 10 here. You have the Cleveland Browns versus Miami Dolphins. You have Tua Tagovailoa.
MVP.
Yeah, you know what? That's going to be the name. So you got Tua going up against Jacoby Brissett. Miami Dolphins, 3.5-point favorite. So, Dennis, who do you have winning here? You going to go with Tua?
Old teammates playing each other right there, huh?
Yeah, you do. You got former teammates.
Yeah. I'm going with Miami on this one. I just don't see Cleveland having enough to win this game. As I don't even know if Greedy Williams is playing. So, I'm going Miami.
In Chubb, we trust. All right?
In
Nick Chubb, I do trust. I think that Nick Chubb is going to have a Joe Mixon type of game. You know, last week, Joe Mixon had 5 touchdowns and won the game all by himself. You know, you're a fantasy football guy. You know. So, I think Nick Chubb will have a very similar performance. I think he will put Cleveland on his back, and the Cleveland Browns will beat the Miami Dolphins. So, give me the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5 here. And I got Cleveland beating Miami this weekend.
Okay.
Now, the matchup that everyone's calling the game of the week, even though we don't know if a certain quarterback's going to be playing or not, but this game has been classified as game of the week, and that is the 7-1 Minnesota Vikings taking on the 6-2 Buffalo Bills.
Uh-oh.
And man, this matchup is really hard to talk about. Buffalo Bills are only a 3-point favorite according to FanDuel, but they are playing in Buffalo, and the conditions do matter there. So I want to ask you, Dennis, everyone watching around the world, who are you going? Are you going with Josh Allen and Case Keenum, or are you going to go with Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm going to be honest with you. Be real honest with you. I want Case Keenum to play. I want him to stick it to Minnesota for going out there to go get Kirk Cousins when you could have had me and we could have went back to the NFC Championship game. But no, you went and got Kirk Cousins and you ain't been back since. I want Case Keenum to play, and I'm taking Buffalo. If Case Keenum don't play, I'm taking Minnesota. Those are my answers.
Well, to me, regardless of who the quarterback is, I'm still going with the same team. And that is a team that is 7-1 in the NFC North. A team every time I keep going up against, they keep on winning. You know, I bet against them, they keep on winning. And regardless if it's Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson, who just got there, regardless of who it is, Patrick Peterson on the defensive end, one of the greatest defensive backs we've seen in the 21st century.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, no doubt. So give me the soon-to-be 8-1 Minnesota Vikings, and they're going to be beating the Buffalo Bills. Give me the +3.
Okay.
So as we're doing our NFL Week 10 discussion here on the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio, the voice of new media, I'm your host, Ian Kelly. We're here with Dennis Holmes from the IgnorantThinkers podcast. Keep going down the line. We have a blowout, according to the betting odds. You have the Kansas City Chiefs, 9.5-point favorite over Jacksonville, over the bust. That's the quarterback over there, Trevor Lawrence. So you have Kansas City and you have Jacksonville. Dennis, who do you got in this matchup?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take I'll take Jacksonville to cover. I'll take Kansas City to win.
I'm going to go with both. I'm going to go with both because I think this could be a 2-touchdown game. I have no confidence in Jacksonville. I have no confidence in the bust they have at quarterback and Trevor Lawrence. And I really don't have any confidence in the defense. I mean, outside of Devin Lloyd, you really don't have much on that defense. Josh Allen and Devin Lloyd, that's pretty much all you got.
What? You ain't got no love for Duval?
I ain't got no love for Duval. No, I do not.
Well, you got, besides Devin Lloyd, you got some other players out there that's playing. That defense is playing. They're pretty fast, man. That's a fast defense.
Outside of University of Utah legend Devin Lloyd, you really don't have much on that defense.
All right, now, where are they playing at?
They're playing in Kansas City. They're playing at Arrowhead. So I'm saying it's going to be a 2-touchdown game. It's not going to be close.
Okay. You taking that? I might take that too. I don't know. I might.
And speaking of Ron Thomas, by the way, we were talking about your team earlier in the show. And I said, Ron, before you were in here, I want the Falcons to win that division at 7-10. All right. I want the Falcons at 7-10 to host a playoff game because I just think that'd be the humorous thing ever.
He's drinking bleach.
Now, continuing, we have a game that nobody wants to watch except you're a fan of this team. You have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Saints are a 1.5-point favorite according to FanDuel. So, who are you going with? You going with Andy Dalton or are you going with Kenny Pickett? Who you got?
Give me Kenny Pickett. That's what. Give me until the Saints just say we're starting Taysom Hill at quarterback. I'm betting against them, and you know I'm always going to bet against them because the more they lose, the better the pick we get. And it's looking like if they keep starting Andy Dalton, we're going to get the first pick of the draft. Just keep losing, baby.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. We've been rarely agreeing on the show, but I'm going to be agreeing with you. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the +1.5 on this. They're playing at home. They're playing in Pittsburgh. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, hey, Kings ROG, been on the show before. I want to say to you, it's all about those Cowboys. Funny enough, the next matchup on my list, the Dallas Cowboys, 4.5-point favorite, going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, Dennis, I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. I have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to have Dallas winning this matchup by a touchdown easy because the Green Bay Packers not only suck, but you have Aaron Rodgers, who's literally a vacuum of disappointment. So I'm going to go with Dallas. They're going to brutally murder the Green Bay Packers. They're going to butcher them up. They're going to make sure that they decimate the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. Hey, Dennis Holmes, I know that you're a Philadelphia guy, but who do you got in this matchup? Dallas Cowboys or Green Bay Packers?
I'm going with the Cheeseheads, baby. That's what I'm going. I'm going with the Cheeseheads. For some reason, for some strange reason, Aaron Rodgers will do what he needs to do for this game. Don't quote me on why. Don't quote me on what's going to happen. But when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, it is crazy. I'm going to go with Green Bay. One thing Dallas cannot do is stop the run. And if Green Bay get the running with them two boys, Aaron Jones and Big Dylan back there, they're going to win that game.
I'm going to say it on record. This is the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio, the voice of new media. He is Dennis Holmes from the IgnorantThinkers podcast. I'm the host, Ian Kelly, and I'm definitely not picking Green Bay. I've told you this before, Dennis. My life goal, my life goal, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to drink right. I want to see the Packers go 0-17 at least once in my life. I hate them that much. I hate Green Bay that much. I want to see them go 0-17 at least once in my life. Now, I know Green Bay is going to lose that matchup. By the way, somebody said that Jacksonville might just stay home because Kansas City is going to show how bad they are. I mean, they have the MVP frontrunner in Patrick Mahomes. I think people know how bad Kansas City is. I don't think they need to show it. So, that's right. Now the next matchup, you have the Arizona Cardinals going to LA, taking on the LA Rams. Now the Rams are a field goal favorite in this matchup, according to FanDuel. So, Dennis, who do you got? You going to go with the LA Rams, the reigning Super Bowl champions? Or are you going to go with the quarterback who can't stay off of Call of Duty? Who do you got?
Well, wait a minute. Hold up. Both of those quarterbacks might not even play.
That's why I'm saying, who do you got?
That's a different situation. So it's like, who's the best backup? You know what? You know what's crazy? The Rams may win this game with their backup quarterback. I'm going with the Rams.
And I'm going to go with the Rams simply because I don't trust the Cardinals. I mean, not just Kyler Murray, but Cliff Kingsbury is not a trustworthy coach. You cannot trust him.
I've been saying that for a long time.
He needs to be fired by the end of the year, by the way. If he does not get fired, I'm going to be shocked.
Well, the two coaches I thought was going to get fired got fired. The crazy thing is I like both of those coaches. That's the Indianapolis coach Frank Wright. And you know how much love I got for Matt Rule because of what he did for Temple in Philadelphia. So those two coaches I like a lot. But I just said it's been too much time. You haven't won your division. You haven't made no improvements. You got to go. It's not that I was wishing bad things on you, but when you have a job, you have to have a good job performance. And you was not having good job performance. It was time for both of those guys to go. I said in the beginning of the year, those are the two coaches I see getting fired.
It's funny. The Philadelphia Eagles, because they're doing so well this year, you have your offensive coordinator, you have your defensive coordinator. They're both hot. They're hot free agents heading into next year. So, hey, Dennis, let me ask you this. When it comes to Indianapolis, when it comes to Carolina, Arizona, all these teams are going to need a head coach next year. Are both of your coordinators going to be gone in Philadelphia next year? Jonathan Gannon and really?
If we lose the offensive coordinator, it's cool because we'll probably get Frank Wright. Okay. I think Frank Wright will come and hang out with us for a while. He likes it in Philly. Robert Cannon. Is Robert Cannon or Gannon?
Jonathan Gannon.
JG. My fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, JG. Yeah.
JG. Yes, JG on the other hand. I'm not a fan of his defensive style, but he's been doing his job. But I'm not a fan. But he's been doing his job. I just feel as though we need to blitz a little bit more.
All right. Definitely had to get that out of the way. And since this show is in the sports entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, the Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. You have the Indianapolis Colts with their new coach taking on the Las Vegas Raiders here at Allegiant Stadium. Raiders 4.5-point favorite according to FanDuel. So, Dennis, do you have Las Vegas winning? Or do you have Indianapolis under a brand new coach getting his first win? Who do you got?
Buck Flair rule number 3. When a coach gets fired, the team plays harder. I'm taking the Colts to win.
You know what? I'm going to take Buck Flair's rules, and I'm going to shove them out the window.
Oh, not Buck Flair.
I take his rules, I shove them out the window. Because here's what my rule is. Whenever there's a brand new coach, they're going to start their career off with an L. They're going to start their tenure 0-1. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders. Give me the -4.5. And I think that Las Vegas Raiders, they're going to get that win on Sunday.
Last year, the Raiders interim coach, first game is coach. Guess who he played?
Chicago Bears.
No, he played the Philadelphia Eagles. First game is
Philadelphia coach. Eagles. Okay.
And he blew us the hell out. Blew us the hell out of the water. So that's why I'm going with the Colts to win this game. Without Jonathan Taylor.
Without Jonathan Taylor. Even without Jonathan Taylor.
Which was the greatest trade I made in fantasy. Greatest trade I made in fantasy.
Who'd you get?
Stephon Diggs.
What?
Yeah, I traded Jonathan Taylor for Stephon Diggs.
Wait, was it a straight up 1v1 trade?
Yeah. I traded him like week 4.
You know what? I'm not going to ask any further questions. That's just, okay. All right, so Jonathan Taylor straight up for Stephon Diggs. You pretty much robbed that man and took all his money. So
I didn't rob. In all honesty, I didn't rob him because in his eyes, it's like, well, you could have just drafted Jonathan Taylor with your first pick instead of trading. I mean, you could have just drafted Stephon Diggs with your first pick instead of trading. But in my eyes, it was more so like, to me, it just seemed like it's too much pressure to have the first pick in fantasy. That's how I feel. It's too much pressure.
Yeah, I don't draft with the first overall pick because whoever the projected number 1 pick is since 2016 falls off a cliff that year. So for me, it's just not worth it. Now, now continuing with our NFL Week 10 discussion here on Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. You have the Los Angeles Chargers going to San Francisco. Santa Clara. And the 49ers, 7-point favorite according to FanDuel. So, Dennis, who do you have in this matchup? You going to go with the 49ers or are you going to go with the Chargers? Who do you got?
I picked the Chargers last week to win for the first time in a long time. What's up, Ace?
Hey, what up, Ace? What up?
This week, I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers because it doesn't matter where this game is played at. One thing I know for sure, San Fran is always going to be a home game. No matter if it's played in LA or Santa Clara, it's going to be a home game for San Fran no matter what. So I'm taking San Fran in this game.
Hey, what's up, Rashawn?
What's up, Sean?
You know what? The San Francisco 49ers, they are the better team, not even on paper, but when you watch them, the San Francisco 49ers are a better team all around. So give me San Francisco, give me the touchdown, and you know what? I'm going to take San Francisco to win this game, and they're going to be alongside Seattle among the best teams in the NFC West heading into Week 11. Robert, he says Chargers by 3. You know what?
What's up, Robert Leader?
Hey, Robert, what's up, man? Chargers by 3. I can respect that. I can respect that. Also, Rashawn saying Debo's back, which is true. Debo Samuel's going to be back.
I want to see the goal line. I want to see the goal line offense. And I want to see it with Debo. And I want to see it with George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey on the backfield. Oh, that's going to be amazing. I love to see how they do that. That'll be amazing right there, man. I want to see that. That'll be good.
And if they had Trey Lance, you could imagine the option plays.
Oh my goodness, man! You could almost do a triple option.
Pretty much, yeah. You could do it back to college football. Just have 2 running backs and a quarterback. Yeah, absolutely. With that Debo package with him and CMC, absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare for defenses. Now the final matchup I'm going to say, because you are an Eagles fan, So, ironically, this is on Monday, but I was going to save it last anyways. You have the Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia is a 10.5-point favorite, according to FanDuel. So, Dennis, I'm gonna leave it up to you. 10.5-point favorite, Philadelphia.
Washington covers, Philadelphia wins. 10.5-point favorite? No, Washington covers. Washington covers and Philadelphia wins.
You know what? We're on the same wavelength because I just don't have Philadelphia covering. I just think that 10.5, you're pretty much going to have to win by 2 touchdowns in that game. So,
right, it's a division game.
So, you know what? I'm going to take Washington plus 10.5, mainly because with Washington being 10.5, I just have them being a touchdown game. You know, with it being a divisional matchup, with it being a matchup where you're going to be seeing 2 teams battling in a division. And besides, Dennis, you and I have watched enough football to know majority of the time divisional matchups are closer than non-divisional matchups. Because there's more at stake, there's more blood in the ring. So I'm going to say give me Washington plus 10.5. I have them losing by a touchdown. Funny enough, Blaze says Eagles by 15. I mean, Eagles.
Shout out to Blaze.
Shout out to Blaze, by the way. Shout out to you. And Sean says Philly in a blowout. Philly in a blowout. Okay. I'm going to be in the minority here. I got Washington losing by a touchdown. That's just the way it's going to be. So, as we are talking about NFL Week 10 discussion, I have a few quick topics we're going to go over here with Dennis Holmes from the Ignorant Thinkers podcast.
Let's do it.
Now, the Cleveland Browns, they've been 9 weeks in. No Deshaun Watson. Jacoby Brissett's been doing his thing as a backup quarterback. Now, Cleveland is not the worst in the AFC North. That would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Deshaun Watson, he's coming back week 12. You know, he's going to be coming back. He's going to be playing against the Houston Texans. We all know about that story. So, I'm going to say, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, how do you think the Cleveland Browns are going to perform with Deshaun Watson as their quarterback? Because Jacoby Brissett's been kind of a game manager. He's been doing, you know, less than what Deshaun Watson would. So how different is Cleveland going to be once Deshaun Watson comes back and they take on the Houston Texans when he comes back?
Well, he gets to practice, I think, now.
That'd be correct.
If I'm not mistaken. I think he's practicing now. So I believe he's going to be rusty. But, you know, I just want to see if his wheels are still there. Because I think his wheels, along with Nick Chubb's wheels, will get them into better places, be honest with you. But I think he still might be a little rusty. I want to see the him and Amari Cooper connection, even though I think that him and Donovan Peoples-Jones will have a bigger connection, to be honest, than him and Amari Cooper. Something about him and those second-string wide receivers, they seem to go together a little better. Hopefully he's working on his timing and getting himself together, you know, putting all that stuff that was happening to him in the past behind him, coming out just playing football. I want him to give it. I want him to really stick it to the Houston Texans real bad. But, you know, it is what it is. I wanted to be to a point, kind of like when Michael Vick went back to Atlanta when he was with the Eagles. And at first they booed him. They booed him at first. But then later on in the game, they started applauding him when he scored a touchdown. So that's how I wanted to be.
Now, the comments here have been amazing. You have that game in Houston, the Texans should line up the front row with ladies in massage outfits.
What?
Yeah. You know, Blaze has been awesome. You know, Blaze, you are a very creative dude.
Oh, man.
You also got each end zone should have a massage table in the corner for Houston.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I know you'd be tempting Deshaun Watson by that point. You pretty much would just be giving him all he wants. June Pierre, by the way, shout out to you. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, June?
Yeah, your Giants. You know, I unfortunately have them losing to the Texans, but that's okay. You know, your Giants are still doing good. Still doing good. Now, with Cleveland, I really feel like the main difference between Jacoby Brissett and Deshaun Watson is that you're going to have more options down the field. You know, you're going to have to be able to go down the field more, you know, 50 yards, 60 yards down the field. Jacoby Brissett's been more of a 10-yard, 15-yard passing plays with Amari Cooper. He really hasn't been that often going deep with Cleveland. Where I think Deshaun Watson, that'd be a different story. So to me, that's the real big difference, that you're going to be seeing more plays downfield with Deshaun Watson. And he also has more mobility in his legs than Jacoby Brissett does. He's willing to get out of the pocket more.
I mean, from the last time we've seen him, but as of what we've seen this preseason,
Hey, you're gonna have to. Hey, Sharon, you're gonna have to ask Blaze what a massage outfit is.
Blaze be tripping. Chocolate girl, Blaze is crazy.
You know what? I'm going to say, that June Pierre's disappointed I'm picking the Texans over your Giants. I know you're very disappointed in me. I know. Hey, you know what? Deshaun Watson could be garbage. You very well much could be right. He will be garbage until next year. Or he leads a Cleveland Browns team to a 500 record. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, it is what it
is. Now, I will say that AFC North division, Cleveland, Pittsburgh towards the bottom, Baltimore and Cincinnati are only a game between each other. So, Dennis, if you had to predict right now, who's going to win the AFC North? Is it going to be Baltimore or is it going to be Cleveland? Sorry, Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Oh, no, it's going to be Baltimore. Cincinnati will come in second, though, but it'll be Baltimore.
Now, would Cincinnati make the playoffs in that scenario, or are they just going to miss out?
I think Cincinnati makes the playoffs, no doubt. Cincinnati makes the playoffs. They make the playoffs, and they should win the first playoff game. Because they'll get Jamar Chase back, I think, week 14.
Around there, week 14, week 15.
Yeah. Right in time for my fantasy playoff situation.
And since Pittsburgh Steelers are in that division, I just want to talk about this real quickly. The Pittsburgh Steelers, why haven't they fired Matt Canada yet? Like, seriously, what's waiting so long? Why are they not fired their offensive coordinator yet?
They wait. They're not going to fire him.
You know what? They need to. Honestly, they should have fired him in preseason week 1, but I digress.
No, they're not going to fire him. They're going to wait until the end of the season. And then they'll come back to the situation. But I don't think that they're going to fire Matt Canada. That's not really the Pittsburgh way. I don't remember them firing nobody mid-season. I was mad Dick LeBeau left. Like, how you let Dick LeBeau leave? What the hell?
Yeah, Dick LeBeau. Yeah, one of the greatest Steelers. He was a great mastermind for them.
One of the greatest defensive coordinators out there. Anyway, not that good.
So moving over from the AFC North to the NFC North, the Chicago Bears. The NFC North, you have the Chicago Bears. You have my team, Chicago. Justin Fields this season has shown progress. He has shown that he is not making the same rookie mistakes he did last year. Now, with that being said, do you think that Justin Fields is finally, and I mean finally, the franchise quarterback that the Bears have been asking for the last 30 years? Is he finally?
What other quarterbacks got drafted with Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, Mitch Trubisky, Cade McNown.
No. The same year, Trevor Lawrence and
Justin Fields came out. The quarterbacks that were taken.
Yeah, Zach Wilson,
Trey Lance, Mac Jones,
Davis
Mills.
Yeah, Justin Fields right now is playing like he's the best one in that draft class. Right now, I can honestly say the Chicago Bears do not need to look for a quarterback. They have their quarterback of the future. There's no need to look for it. I know everybody like, well, you just saying it off the one game that you saw. I'm not really saying it off the one game that I saw. I'm saying it off his progression. And at the end of the year, people will be like, yeah, well, he had that one magical game, and we still lost, and, we didn't get that many more wins. And you got to remember that your front office is rebuilding along with your team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. I mean, you have $145 million in cap space next year. Chicago is definitely going to use that to their advantage, by the way. $145 million in cap space. But no, like, as a Chicago Bears fan, putting bias aside, the game against New England, the game against Miami. There has been multiple games where Justin Fields has shown he could be a franchise quarterback. Justin Fields has shown that, yes, he can run with his legs, but he can also get out of the pocket, and he also can read the pocket very well. If he knows the pocket's going to collapse within 1.5 seconds, he just takes off and runs because he knows that the pocket's already collapsing. There's some rookie quarterbacks who just stay in the pocket way too long. We see that. We see that all the time. Rookie quarterbacks are afraid to get hit, so they make costly interceptions.
Right.
When I see Justin Fields, he doesn't really make those rookie mistakes that often.
No, and like your offensive line is not that good.
Oh, it's the second worst in the NFL.
They run block real well. I think Khalil Herbert is the better running back for your team. But you still keep David Montgomery because everybody has a 1-2 punch. I think he's a good 2 of a punch. He's not the 1, but he's a good 2 of a punch. I also believe that you got to see what you're getting out of these 2 wide receivers because, you got one guy who was a number 1, a first-round draft pick who hasn't really shown who he is. And then there's another guy over there that got talent, been traded, but, we want to see what his full potential is because, like I said, you go into this offseason, there isn't too many wide receivers out there for y'all to pick from in free agency. So that means you have to draft a wide receiver. Now, this is a deep drafting wide receiving class. That's another thing. A lot of people ain't talking about that. It's a deep drafting wide receiving class where you may be able to steal something in the second round that'll be nice for you. Like a Hyatt. I forgot Hyatt's first name, but with a Hyatt from Tennessee.
Yeah, I understand on that front. And when it comes to Chicago, they definitely have a lot of decisions to make moving forward, but it's definitely going to be a great offseason 2023. As a Bears fan, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So as we're talking about the NFL here on the Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media, I'm your host, Ian Kelly. We're here with Dennis Holmes from the IgnorantThinkers podcast. Staying with the NFL, who is the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL? Because, Justin Fields, it got me thinking, who is the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL today?
Most disrespected.
They do not get enough respect. They put out these great performances, but most of the league doesn't treat them.
At one point, it was my son. If you would have heard I'm not going to say every, if you would have heard I'm not going to say that. If you would have heard a major percentage of Philadelphia Eagles fans, major, and I mean about 78%. All right, 78% of Eagles fans did not want Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback. They said he wasn't it. All he could do was run. He can't pass the ball. He don't know how to read defenses. There was a defensive coordinator that came out that said he don't know how to read defenses. And all I kept saying is, just let him work on it this offseason. See how he come back. Now, I don't want him around. He ain't that good of a guy. He ain't a leader. This is why he was cut from – this is why he got his job taken to Alabama. This is why he ain't win that when he went to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah,
you got to see it. They was going in on it. They was going in on Jalen Hurts. Those same people, Jalen for MVP. Same people. That's why I don't have those conversations like that. My conversations be literally, we play Washington Monday night. That's my
one game at a time. One game at a time.
That's it. Those are my conversations. And I keep my conversations like that because everybody is just strictly on what's going on. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to talk about how the Eagles ain't did nothing. So I'm going to go one Jalen Hurts. I got to give Geno Smith his love because that's another guy that was disrespected. Nobody expected them to win as many games as they won. Nobody. And they have been winning. And Geno has been performing. And Seattle has been doing their thing. So I'm giving Geno Smith his love. I'm giving Tua Tagovailoa his love. Because people were saying they need to tank and go get them a quarterback, or they should have had their chips all in to go get Deshaun Watson. But Tua Tagovailoa went out there and he beating everybody he needed to beat, come back from a concussion and still doing what he's doing. This guy's the MVP of the league. This guy got 2 wide receivers that may both get over, both put together may go for over 3,500 yards.
Could be. Yeah, definitely could do that. Yeah, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
It's dangerous out here, man. I mean, this guy's the MVP of the league. When he's not playing, they don't look as good as they do. When he is in the game, they look better. You can say his arm ain't there and this and that, or he ain't really that accurate. Say what you want. They're a winning franchise with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. That's what they are. So those are the guys that I'm going to say. Other disrespected people out there. I'm gonna have to say Daniel Jones is one that's disrespected, and he's 6-2 right now with no wide receivers. Let that sink in. All right, 6-2 with no wide receivers. You gotta let that sink in. Then you gotta go back and you gotta talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo came out there and was benched, and they was trying to trade him and couldn't get nobody to take him. And next thing you know, gets injured like the second. Was it against y'all that he got injured?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh man, I think on the second week of the season, then he comes back out. Jimmy comes out, saves the day because you didn't trade him. So that's another guy. So like I said, there's a lot of guys out there. Kirk Cousins, 7-1. 7-1. Kirk Cousins, got to give him his love. Kirk Cousins out there, he's 7-1. He out there every time he win a game, they throwing all this new jewelry on him, no shirt on, doing dances in the airplane. Shout out to Minnesota.
You know what? When it comes to, Czar's always, talking.
If I'm talking about San Fran, that's how I feel.
And you know what? Sharon actually said who, in my opinion, it is. To me, Lamar Jackson is the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL. The amount of disrespect that Lamar Jackson gets from the national media is, to me, it's absurd.
To
me, Lamar Jackson is, in my opinion, a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. He is.
Right now?
He's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. He is.
Right now? Or you mean like
Lamar Jackson can do? The stuff that Lamar Jackson can do, I say he's a top 3 quarterback. Based off of what he can do on the field, what he can do for a team.
Okay.
But yet he still gets disrespected by the national media because, he's a running back. No, he's not a running back. He's a quarterback. We've seen that he can actually pass the ball. He can actually go deep if he has to. So the way I look at it, Lamar Jackson, to me, is very disrespected. Kyler Murray, if you saw anything from this prior offseason, was massively disrespected. I think Justin Fields is starting to get a little bit of disrespect from people. So, I look at it, and Jameis Winston, too. Like, when Jameis Winston was going through his entire thing, the national media was always clowning him and always making fun of him. He's not a bad quarterback. Like, he is not a terrible quarterback by any means. But pretty much to answer the question on my end, Lamar Jackson is the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL.
Well, what do you think they should pay him?
If you want my opinion, I think Lamar Jackson should get $48 million next season. I think there's going to be a team that's going to pay him $48 million. Because he is that good.
If the guy that's making 50 is 2-6 right now, right? He's 2-6?
Right, that's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, the bum is. Yes.
He's 2-6 and he's making 50. I got to give 52.
But here's the thing. The thing about Aaron Rodgers is that he's a 3-time MVP. He is Super Bowl winner. He has all these accolades up to this point.
That's cool. That's all right.
Lamar Jackson, he won that one MVP. And I absolutely still think that he could be in contention to win MVP. In fact, I think he was 20-1 when I saw the odds now. I think he's 20-1.
Shout out to Vegas.
By the way, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
I think he is like 22-1. Yeah, he's 22. So. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to ask this real quick. Who do you have as MVP? Like NFL MVP, who do you have right now? Because I know you're not going to say Jalen Hurts. I know you're not going to say it.
Tua Tagovailoa. That's who I got for MVP.
You know what? I'm actually gonna go with Kirk Cousins. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually gonna go with Patrick Mahomes. It's cliche, but I think Patrick Mahomes right now would be the MVP.
Okay, Patty.
Now you mentioned that you wouldn't know who to pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Somebody on Twitter, use a hashtag SportsAngle to engage on Twitter, said, "What about Brian Robinson, the running back from Washington?"
No, just because he got shot. No.
Okay. To me, it's Kenneth Walker. I'm a Seattle guy, but I think Kenneth Walker would be MVP.
Kenneth Walker is nice, but I don't think he beats Damian Pierce for it. That's my thing.
It's interesting. Sharon Mullen said Jalen Hurts is MVP right now. Obviously, that's her opinion, but he's MVP right now. Hey, Spartan Dog, Sharon Mullen. Yeah, absolutely, Spartan Dog. Now, moving on to the next part. Since we are in Las Vegas, Nevada, the sports entertainment capital of the world, the Las Vegas Raiders are 2-6 right now. The Las Vegas Raiders having a down part to the year. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much concern should the people here in Las Vegas have for the Raiders? What should the panic button be right now?
If they don't win this game against the Colts, the panic button got to be pushed. And that's real. If they don't win this game against the Colts, panic button got to be pushed. You lost to the Colts without their best player, and they fired their coach. Man, you gotta press the panic button hard. Josh McDaniels, I don't know what's up with him. I really don't. I don't understand. I don't understand nothing about what he's doing. Like I don't see no improvement. I don't see no, we're trying to do better. I don't see a different product out there. I don't see it. I just don't see it. And maybe it's me. I just don't see it. Raider fans, they may have something else different to say, but they just looked at. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The black hole.
The black hole. Yeah.
Black hole. I forgot. I said I wasn't calling them the Raiders. The black hole. The black holes were there.
Now we see that Josh McDaniels should have stayed in New England. I mean, the Raiders, they should have kept the head coach from the second half of the season, Rich Boucher. Yeah, they should have definitely kept him.
That's right.
Now
you see what I mean? Now he led them to the playoffs. And he didn't even get called back for the job.
No, he did not. They did not bring him back.
So that's why I said I'm rooting for Steve Wilkes. You got to win your division. That's how hard you got to do just to get the job. You got to win your division.
When it comes to Las Vegas, I was not a fan of Josh McDaniels when he got hired. And I got a lot of pushback on that. When they were in 4 to 5 weeks in, I said that he should have been fired already. I got a lot of pushback on that. Well, nearly 10 weeks in, people in Las Vegas, you keep on being mad at me. I don't care. Josh McDaniels, A, should have never been hired in the first place. But 2, you should have fired him by week 5. Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach. I mean, look, Josh McDaniels brings over the Patriots way. Coaches, executives, former players. The Patriots way does not work without Bill Belichick. It simply does not work. And the Raiders are the 7th team to go out and try this. Oh, let's bring in a bunch of former Patriots and we're going to be good now. It does not work. So I say this, that Josh McDaniels should have been fired by week 5. I think he should be fired after the Colts loss. If they lose to the Colts, they're 2-7. He's got to go.
How much are they paying him?
Josh McDaniels, I don't know his contract exactly, but it doesn't matter. He's getting paid too much.
But here's the thing. They fired John Gruden. I think they still got to pay him.
Yeah, John Gruden, the whole situation with the lawsuit. Yeah.
Right, and if you fire Josh McDaniels, you still got to pay him. So You don't even have the money to bid for a good coach that may cost you high paying money. Like you don't have the money. Like you backed up. You got to win like 3 Super Bowls with a low budget coach just to get back. Just to get back.
But whose fault is that though? That's Mark Davis. That's Mark Davis's fault because he decided to go out and get John Gruden in the first place. That was on him. Then he goes out and gets Josh McDaniels. That's on him. I don't feel bad for Mark Davis. There's a reason why I don't get much love here in Las Vegas, by the way. Look, the Las Vegas Raiders made a mistake when they hired Josh McDaniels. And I'm also going to ask you this, and everyone watching around the world, you can respond to it as well. If Derek Carr, if they go 3-14, for argument's sake, worst case scenario, they go 3-14. Derek Carr, you got to go, right? Does Derek Carr have to go? I don't care that he's a nice guy, which is everyone's rebuttal here in Las Vegas. Oh, he's such a nice guy. Do you see him, what he does for the community? He's such a nice guy. But does that win you football games? Does that win you football games? You're a nice guy. How about the community? But does that win you football games? I feel like Derek Carr is on the last year of his deal in Las Vegas. If they lose 13 games, 14 games, I don't see them keeping Derek Carr. I don't really see a reason why you would keep Derek Carr. I mean, Dennis, do you agree that, worst case scenario, they lose 13, 14 games, Derek Carr's on his way out?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, you start over. He's out. He's definitely got to go. You got to start over.
But the question is, what do you do at the quarterback position? Because, it is the most important position in football.
Well, you got to draft you.
Do you tank for CJ Stroud? Is that what you do? You tank for
CJ? Well, you lost 14 games. You already did tank for somebody. If you lost 14 games, you already did tank. Now you just got to hope whichever quarterback you like the most.
Well, for me, CJ Stroud is the best quarterback out of the draft class next year. I know Bryce Young has his favorites. He has his fans. But CJ Stroud's the best.
I don't think CJ Stroud is the best. I think
Bryce. Who do you think it is then?
I think Bryce is the best.
But that's the thing.
It's not really. It's not head. I don't think Bryce is head over shoulders better than CJ. I think it's really a flip of the coin. But I'm taking Bryce. That's just me.
And Robert, by the way, put in the chat, Josh is earning an annual salary of $1 million.
Yeah, but how many years?
That's what? It could be a 4-year deal, could be a 3-year deal. I don't think it's going to last past year 1. That's my point. Is that, to me, Josh McDaniels, if you go 3-14, you have to go.
Yeah, if it's only a 4-year deal and he's getting $1 million a year, yeah, I'm with you on that. He got to go.
He has to go. I mean, we saw with Carolina with Matt Rule. It doesn't matter how much they're paying you. You got to perform.
Yeah, but the next guy, see, with the Matt Rule and with the Matt Rule, because he's getting that big contract, he got like $70 million for 7 years or something. Like, don't quote me on the numbers, but for the next 4 years, they still got to pay him. So if you still got to pay somebody almost like $6 to $8 million a year for the next 4 years, the next guy that comes in got to be like most that he got to make is like $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at guys, because you got to look at the business of the game too.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I said I hope Steve Wilkes win the division, get the job. I hope he gets more money, incentives, and stuff like that. But that'll help Carolina as a business still strive. And hopefully they can, go ahead and do what they need to do. Now, I know everybody going to say, why are you worried about a coach's salary? It's not on the salary cap. But coach's salary could hurt the team, could hurt the owner in the long run. I'm sorry, not team. The owner in the long run. And then next thing you know, you're going to have to get a new owner.
Well, here's my idea for the Las Vegas Raiders, for the whole Derek Carr situation. If you can't get CJ Stroud, right? Let's just say they don't tank good enough. The Raiders are not good enough at tanking. They can't get him. How about you go to free agency and you get Lamar Jackson? They go out and they spend the money. They get Lamar Jackson.
That's like $300 million.
Mark Davis showed the last 2 offseasons he doesn't care about money.
Yeah,
he really has. Mark Davis has shown he doesn't care about money.
He's worth it, though. Lamar Jackson with Devontae Adams.
Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller as well, if he can come back to being the tight end that he was.
Man. Get them some defense. Man. Why the hell did the black hole not get rid of Clem Farrell yet?
Because nobody wants him. It's the easiest answer. Nobody wants him.
He been in the league that long. They could have cut him. He been in the league that long. He ain't even got 10 sacks. How the hell you ain't got 10 sacks and you was like a top 10 pick? Get his ass off the team.
There you go. That's the reaction of everyone here in Vegas. They're paying him too much. That's the reason why no one wants him.
Cut him. You just cut Abrams the other day. Cut him.
Speaking of which, can we talk about the fact that the Raiders have the worst first-round track record in probably like NFL draft history? I mean, they've cut or released 5 of their last 6 first-round picks.
Well, and 2 of them went to jail. So I'm going to have to say that's because they let John Gruden pick them first-round picks. And that's Mike Mayock had to pick the ones in the back. You could tell. I knew that by watching Hard Knocks. Which guys was John Gruden guys and which guys was Mike Mayock guys. If you ever watched the Hard Knocks with the black hole.
Oh yeah, Hard Knocks on HBO. Yeah.
Yeah. You ever watched the Hard Knocks with the black hole? You can see from the engagement on what guys Mike Mayock drafted and what guys John Gruden drafted. And who wanted who. You can see Mike Mayock did not want Antonio Brown. You can see it.
Now, moving over to the next topic, we've been talking about the AFC West for the last 10 or 15 minutes. By the way, HBO Hard Knocks, they've been doing the Detroit Lions this year. That was fantastic.
Great.
That was absolutely great. So, moving over to the NFC West, talking about the biggest underdog in the NFL. How about those Seattle Seahawks, Dennis? I mean, they really have been a feel-good story this year.
Yes, they are. Pete Carroll, 70 years old, man. Coaching his behind off. I'm telling you, coaching his behind off.
Oh, yes, he is.
No-name guys. I mean, this is what Pete Carroll does. Gets a bunch of no-name guys, has a low salary cap, has them guys out there playing their behind off. This is how he did when the Legion of Boom and all of them came together. This is what he does. Just drafts well. I mean, got to give him his credit. He knows talent. 70 years old, doing his thing.
Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I want you to picture this real quick. I want to paint a picture for the whole audience. Let's say the Super Bowl this year in Glendale, Arizona. You have the Seattle Seahawks, led by Geno Smith, being in a Super Bowl. I think that would be the greatest story you could picture. Having Geno Smith, a guy who was out of the league at one point.
That Geno, and I just heard a new story about Geno Smith too, but that would be a Kurt Warner story right there. That would get a movie. That would get a movie. If they make the Super Bowl with Geno Smith in the next 2 to 3 years, that would be a movie.
Yep, and a rookie running back in Kenneth Walker, a guy that some scouts wanted at receiver, by the way, which I also felt was disrespectful. They wanted him to be a receiver, and he stayed at running back.
The scout report is just disrespectful at times, to be honest with
you. Yeah. And you know what? I also just remember this. DK Metcalf, there was all those reports about him getting traded this offseason. You remember that?
Yeah.
DK Metcalf potentially being traded?
Because of the contract. Him, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuels, they all, and A.J. Brown, they always waiting for a contract. Only guy got traded was A.J. Brown. The rest of those guys stayed, waited, got their contract.
You know, DK Metcalf, a lot of people aren't paying attention to it, but he's actually having a solid year. Yeah,
he is.
You know,
besides him going to the bathroom during the game, he's having a solid year.
Absolutely. So with Seattle, I guess I really have to ask this question. When it comes to Seattle, are they really the biggest underdog this year? Is there any team in the NFL that's on the same level as you did not see it coming?
The Giants.
Oh, June Pierre, New York Giants. Yeah.
The Giants beat the other team I did not see coming. I'm missing a team. I'm missing an AFC team that kind of shocked me.
New York Jets.
The Jets, yes. I know I was missing one. The Jets. The Jets have shocked me because they don't have nothing. Like, there's no big name over there.
I don't know if
Nothing.
you saw. I don't know if you saw a TikTok or not. There's this kid who goes, "Well, I go to ice cream every time the Jets win," and this Jets player says, "You're gonna get a lot of ice cream this year." And then, sure enough, the Jets player goes on the sideline and goes, "Enjoy your ice cream!" Like he's yelling to the crowd. He's like, "Enjoy your ice cream!" But I thought that was pretty cool. You know, that kid's obviously getting a lot of ice cream this year. Good Jets are winning games. So now this is the Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Kelly. We're here with Dennis Holmes for IgnorantThinkers podcast. Now, we got about 25 minutes left. Normally, hour number 2, I go into hockey, but I have about 3 segments left with Dennis Holmes from the IgnorantThinkers podcast. So I just want to ask these 3 final questions, and then the show will be done and over with. So, the next offseason, 2023, there's going to be some free agents that are going to get signed. All right. They're going to get a nice payday. But what I want to know is who is the number 1 free agent? Like, who is the guy that every team is going to want to sign this offseason?
I'm not going to say every. I'm definitely going to say it's going to be a good 10 teams out there that's going to be reaching for Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to say every because I don't see Kansas City going after him. I don't see Green Bay going after him. You know, I don't see Arizona going after him. Philadelphia not gonna go after him. Miami not gonna go after him. I'm trying to think who else. The Dallas Cowboys won't go after him. Yeah. Okay, that's the thing that's what I can think of off the top of my head.
I was gonna say, Dallas maybe. I don't know about Dakota Prescott. So
nah, Dallas not gonna go after him, but the rest of those teams, yeah, maybe a good 15 teams are gonna go after him and try to give him the contract that he wants. So he's as a free agent, as a quarterback, man, he's about to set the market up, right? And he can go wherever he wants to. Man, yeah, my fault. I don't see Chicago going after him, and I don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars going after him either.
You know, you named a couple of teams there. Absolutely, I respect that. But there actually is 1 or 2 players that I actually think could get some value, and one of them's on your Philadelphia Eagles. How about running back Miles Sanders? You know, Miles Sanders is going to be a running back. He's going to probably be behind Saquon in terms of the best running backs on the free agent market.
Right. But there's a couple running backs coming out in this draft. It's going to be good, too. I mean, you got that kid from Michigan. You got Gibbs from Alabama, who is really like lightning in a bottle for me.
Guy from Texas. Yeah,
you got a guy from Texas. But this dude, Gibbs from Alabama, he can make so much happen with so little touches. Is ridiculous, man. He is literally like Alvin Kamara. And I like him a lot. But yeah, I can see Miles Sanders and Saquon Barkley going to nice places. I got a whole defensive line leaving my unrestricted free agency. Robert Quinn will be leaving, Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. Like,
yep, those will all be gone.
Hey, we gotta make it happen this year. But yeah, we'll see what all happens.
You kind of pretty much answered the next question I was going to ask, which was, what's the one need the Eagles are going to have this offseason? Well, you kind of just answered it.
No, I think it's linebacker.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's linebacker. If you actually, you watch the Texans game, Eagles versus the Texans, you seen Dameon Pierce run for $130 on us. It's because we don't have the linebackers to go back there and make the tackles in the backfield. And I believe that's what we're lacking as a defense. But nobody's really attacked us like that, running the ball and consistently putting up points. So we haven't had that issue. We'll get up to a big lead to the point that you got to throw, and we'll run the ball the whole second half. And we don't score that many points in the second half, besides what happened this last game. And that's usually what's been the thing. But I've been noticing that we have a hard time stopping the run if you run the ball effectively.
And when it comes to Chicago Bears, the one need they're going to need is offensive line. And if I was the general manager, if I'm Ryan Poles, I'm going to get the 5 best offensive linemen money could buy. Whoever the best tackle is, Orlando Brown, I'm just tossing out names. Orlando Brown, Isaiah Wynn, regardless of who it is, I'm buying them. I'm putting them in Chicago.
If I was y'all, I would throw some money at Jason Kelce, even though I know he's going to retire. But I would throw some money at Jason Kelce because that's a guy who could anchor your offensive line with the last. He probably played 2 more years. At least that's what his brother says. His brother said he played 3 years, 3 more years. So with that being said, yeah, I would throw more at him than what he's expecting to make him come to Chicago. That's just
as we have been talking about the NFL here on the Sports Angle on PRConnectionRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Kelly. We're here with Dennis Holmes from IgnorantThinkers podcast. I'm going to transition over to college football for a minute. I know you're a Tennessee Volunteers fan.
Yes,
I know you're a Tennessee guy.
Yes, I am.
So with them being 5th in the rankings, unfortunately, they lost it to Georgia. We all know about it.
It's all right.
Do you believe Tennessee will find a way back to the college football playoff?
Yes. We'll make our way to the college football playoffs. I think this will be our first time in the college football playoffs, and we'll make our way back in there, and hopefully we get that Tennessee-Georgia rematch. You know what I mean? So as the young people say, we get our lick back.
So this is what my bracket is, and I just really want to know what yours would be. My college football bracket, I have Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Tennessee at 3, Oregon at 4.
You took Michigan out because they lose to Ohio State?
I'd take Michigan out, yes.
Because they lose to Ohio State, okay.
I'm going to take Michigan out, and I'm going to take TCU out. I think TCU is going to lose 1 game at some point the next 3 weeks.
I think they lose to Texas.
So I got Oregon as the 4th final seed.
That's a rivalry game, ain't it?
It is a rivalry game, yeah. TCU versus Texas, yes.
Yeah. That ain't the Red River Showdown. Don't cool.
No, that's Texas versus Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oklahoma. Okay, all right.
Okay. King Czar is in the chat. He says Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU.
Well, they both can't be there if they play each other. That's the only thing that I'm noticing. Like, if they play each other, I guess it depends on how the game goes.
Hey, King Czar, I respectfully disagree. I'm not just being a West Coast biased, but I do believe for the first time since 2016, a Pac-12 team will be in the college football playoff.
So you think Bo Nix sneaks his way in there? 2 old quarterbacks in the college football playoff.
I do.
Bo Nix and Hendon Hooker. Ain't that?
Yeah, I got Bo Nix taking on Georgia in the first round.
Georgia.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
And the thing about Tennessee is I think they have enough talent. You know, I'm not someone who thinks they're going to fall off. I actually think they're going to do well and make it to the college football playoff.
That's good. Definitely good.
Unfortunately, Utah can't be in it because they lost 2 games. So, you know, if Utah only had 1 loss, I would try to squeeze them in there. But they got 2 losses. So.
Yeah. Bama got 2 losses too. Shout out to LSU for giving Bama this. What if LSU beats Georgia? I don't see it happen. What if LSU beats Georgia?
I said this on somebody's show. I think it might have been your show. I forget which one it was. But I think Georgia's going to lose in the SEC championship game. I think they got to play LSU in a row. They'll lose in the championship game.
They got to play LSU.
They got to play LSU. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, you know, the next thing that I'm going to go to real quick is there has been all this discussion about the NBA, right? There's all been a discussion about the NBA, James Harden, your Philadelphia 76ers. They've actually been doing pretty well this year, but not on the win-loss record. Like, their stat sheets look good, but their win-loss record doesn't reflect it.
Doesn't look that good.
So, is Doc Rivers finally going to get fired? You know, after being relevant for the last 15 years?
That's what everybody in Philadelphia is screaming for Doc Rivers' head. I just say let him finish out the season. You know, let him finish out the season, see what happens. See what we do in the playoffs. A lot of people saying there's no difference between Doc Rivers and Brett Brown. They saying actually Brett Brown did better with less talent, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just let them finish out the year. It's early in the year. See what you got. Let them finish out the year.
Well, I mean, the worst part about it is obviously it's only 15 games in, so you really can't measure it that well. It's not even a quarter into it yet. But the Philadelphia 76ers won't even be in a play-in game because right now they'd be the 12th seed in the East.
Man.
So unless they can turn it around, and Brooklyn same way, Miami the same way, unless they can find a way to turn it around, it really looks like three teams that most people thought they were going to be favorites in the Eastern Conference. Right now, they've struggled out the gate.
But there's a lot of basketball left.
A lot of basketball, yeah.
There's a
like
lot of
80% of the
basketball
season.
Like last year in January, the Boston Celtics, I think were 11th in the East. Last year in January, I did not think Boston was going to make the playoffs at all. Boston Celtics end up coming all the way back, and I think they end up being the fourth team in the East. Last year in January, after they took that loss to the Knicks. So, like I said, I've seen it, I watched it, anything can happen. So, there's a lot of basketball left. Usually after that Martin Luther King game, that Martin Luther King Day basketball game, that's usually when you get to see, all right, I've seen all their lineups and what they do and how they move and the second unit, they bench is good. You know, you get to see all of that.
There you go. By the way, who is the main rival for the Philadelphia 76ers? Like, who is the main rival that Philadelphia has?
This is Boston.
It's got to be Boston?
Boston and LA. Yeah, Boston and LA.
Okay. Because, like, the thing is with the Philadelphia Phillies, I've always felt like it was the Mets, right? Like, the Mets and the Phillies was really the main
Actually,
rivalry.
the Braves. The Braves. I forgot about them. The Braves. Always hated the Braves. Man, they ran the 90s at one point. I hated the Braves. Oh, that David Justice and all them guys. I hated the Braves. I like them now.
David Justice? You mean him?
Yeah, and matter of fact, one of my favorite Braves was Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones is probably one of my favorite Braves.
And of course, his brother Andrew Jones as well.
Yeah, I remember when he came in as a rookie. Well, I mean, not a rookie, but when he first started, you see that. Chipper Jones.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, since we kind of pivoted to baseball for a second, you know, I only have like 5 minutes left. When it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies, they lost the World Series, unfortunately. You know, are you excited for this offseason? Considering that the Philadelphia Phillies, they got all the moves they need to make.
Yeah, we need some pitching. We gotta get a bullpen. That's one of the things me and my dad was talking about. We gotta get a bullpen, and we gotta get we gotta get some more players over there. We might get a big time player over there.
So you need starting pitching. Do you need?
Yeah, I wonder. Somebody said something about Mike Trout being traded. Have you heard that?
Well, the thing is, the Angels, because they're having the new ownership and everything, like Artie Moreno is trying to sell the team. So there's been all this talk about him trying to trade players' contracts because, you know, he's trying to sell the team.
Mike Trout to the Phillies.
Or you know what? How about we have Shohei Ohtani go into Seattle, for example? You know, how about have him come down to Seattle?
Yeah. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Or maybe, because I'm an absolute agent of chaos, what if we have Jacob deGrom sign a big deal to come to Philadelphia? Be a starting pitcher for the Phillies.
That would be Philadelphia-ish. You know, we sound
Wheeler.
What was the bull from Boston? Now, what was the bull from Boston? He played for Boston and he played for the Mets. He was the pitcher. I can't think of his name. He was old to an old pitcher. He was killing. He used to kill the Yankees. He was a Yankee killer as a pitcher. And we had him the last time we was in the World Series. Besides this one we just passed, we had him.
Well, it wasn't Cliff Lee.
No.
It wasn't Roy Halladay.
No.
Was Carl Paveno? Carl Paveno?
No, this guy was like Spanish. I can't think of his name. Played for Boston though.
Okay.
He was a Yankee killer.
You know what? He'll come to me after the show.
Pedro.
Oh,
Pedro Martinez. That's
Pedro Martinez. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna point this out. Someone just said, "What if Shohei Ohtani got traded to the Yankees?"
Oh Lord.
To be fair, almost every Yankee fan thinks every big superstar is coming to New York, though. Every offseason,
They used to be the MO. That's what Derek Jeter said. They used to be the MO.
Hey, you know what? Since I got this out of the way, I might as well bring it up. Aaron Judge sweepstakes. You know, he's going to get paid $350 million, $400 million, whatever. What about Philadelphia, huh? What about Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge teaming up together?
Why not? Where would he go at in the lineup?
Well, the Yankees put him in the leadoff spot late in the season. But you got Kyle Schwarber.
Right. That's what I said. Where would he go at in the lineup? I
would say maybe 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Because I know you got Bryce Harper, you got Nick Castellanos, you got Reyes Hoskins.
I think Bryce Harper is 3.
Right, so maybe move him to the 2 and then have Judge at the 3, or have the Judge at 2 and Harper at 3.
Yeah, but then you ain't got nobody getting on base. That's 3 straight home runs. Schwarber, pow, out the park. Bryce Harper, pow, out the park. Judge, pow, out the park. That's 3 home runs in a row. You ain't got nobody getting on base.
Well, the thing is, your manager would know him pretty well because he used to be the bench coach for New York. Rob Thompson.
Oh yeah, so
he would know him pretty well.
We'll see how that works out. I know they got enough money.
Yeah, they definitely got enough money, and I will say real quick because unfortunately I am being told I got 10 more minutes left because it's an hour and a half show. Of course it is. So I'm gonna say is that when it comes to your Philadelphia Phillies, whatever happens this offseason is gonna happen. The NBA, when it comes to 76ers, long season to go, they should do pretty well. Philadelphia Eagles, regardless if they go undefeated or not, I don't think they're going to. But regardless of what happens with the Philadelphia Eagles, hopefully they can make it to an NFC Championship game. NFC Championship game.
Play the Washington football team Monday night. Make sure you tune in.
It's funny. That statistic that popped up was the last 5 teams that made it to 9-0 haven't won a Super Bowl that year.
Oh, well. Play the Washington football team on Monday night.
You play the Washington football team on Friday.
On Monday night.
It is Friday. It is Friday. Monday night's going to be the game. Tonight's Friday.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's going to be a good game. What? I don't think that your Bears need any safeties. I think y'all.
Well, actually, we're going to. Actually, we're going to need to because Eddie Jackson's not coming back. He's going to.
Oh, he's not?
Yeah, Eddie Jackson's not going to be coming back. So, we're actually going to need a safety.
Wow.
Well, like I said, majority of teams going to be gone this offseason. Like, majority of the big names are going to be gone.
That's crazy. I didn't even think of
that.
Eddie Jackson may be a Atlanta Falcon.
Do the Eagles need a safety?
No, I think No, never mind. CJ Gardner lead the league in interceptions, so you know how that goes. They won a big contract after that. So.
Yeah. All I know is that Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair are going to be leaving the team, which is why I'm very important that we're going to need another guard. We're going to need more offensive line.
Or a good offensive line coach. See if you could get a good offensive line coach. Forgot what that guy name is. He used to coach the Washington football team as their offensive line coach, and then he went to the Browns. Forgot his name.
Yeah, I forget who it is, but I'll be interested to see what happens with the Bears next year. Like I said, we have so much cap space heading into the next offseason. I mean, the one thing I'm very crucial on, the one thing I really care about is when you have $146 million in cap space. I'm looking at it right here. when you have $146 million in cap space and your biggest cap hit right now is a defensive tackle with $7.4 million, that means you got a lot of money to spend.
Who was that?
Justin Jones. Justin Jones is getting paid $7.4 million next year by Chicago. And he's going to be the highest paid player on the team. So, with Chicago, they have a lot of cap room. They got a lot of money that they can pay. And I'm all for it. I think it's a good idea. And Justin Fields only getting paid $5.1 million, by the way, because he's on a rookie deal. He's only getting paid $5 million.
So y'all getting away with murder. Just appreciate it. And y'all got all these extra picks too. Y'all got like 12 picks.
Yeah, we got all these extra picks. Yeah.
Yeah, and y'all don't need a quarterback. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good for you. Y'all gonna load up.
With the NFL draft, it's gonna be interesting. When you see the mock drafts and everything, I've actually seen what the top 5 draft picks are going to be, like what the order is going to be. And I find it quite amazing that these 5 teams, not everybody thought they were going to be down here. Like Houston being at 1, that was kind of expected. Carolina at 2, not many people saw that coming. Las Vegas at 3, I don't think most people saw that coming.
Nope.
But Pittsburgh at 4. That's kind of surprising that Pittsburgh's at 4.
You think they take another quarterback?
To me, Kenny Pickett doesn't look like a slam dunk pick. Like, Kenny Pickett actually hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked bad, but he doesn't look good either. Like I said when he got drafted, I thought he was going to be an average quarterback in the NFL. Like, I really thought that Kenny Pickett's ceiling was that he'd be an average quarterback. He'd be in the NFL for 5 or 6 years, and then he'd be moved on, and they would go someplace else. But, hey, you know what? Number 5, Detroit Lions, for example. And everyone keeps talking about, the mock drafts and everything. And, I've been saying this. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, A-Rod, AR-15 with Detroit Lions, Anthony Richardson. Right. So this is going to be a very QB-heavy draft, unlike this year.
Anthony Richardson going to the Detroit Lions.
I'm just saying when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, the Detroit Lions are going to have the 5th pick, according to this. Like, they would have the 5th pick.
Who they got them taking?
Right now, they have...
Should be another defensive player.
They got a quarterback.
They got them taking a quarterback. Wow, they're going to take Will Levis, huh?
Yeah, in fact, they have quarterbacks at the 1st pick, the 4th pick, and the 5th pick. So, yeah, they pretty much have the Raiders taking a quarterback. They have the Texans taking a quarterback, and they have the Lions taking a quarterback. So, now, one thing I did not know, Dennis, was that your Philadelphia Eagles would have the 6th pick. I did not.
That's right.
I mean, to me, that's quite impressive. The fact that a team is undefeated could have a top 10 pick heading into next year.
That's why I want to keep losing. The Saints can keep losing.
Now, they do have you taking a defensive end, though. Miles Murphy from Clemson. That's what they got you taking.
Yeah, we about to lose. We about to lose 2 of them. So I can understand why they got us doing that. And I had a picture of this thing. I don't know what I did with it.
And just to kind of round out that top 10, by the way, Arizona Cardinals, they're at 7. They got them taking a defensive back. Jacksonville Jaguars are at 8. They have them taking an offensive tackle. 9, Chicago Bears. They got them taking an offensive tackle. That makes
which offensive tackle they got them taking? Chicago Bears.
Penn State. Fashanu.
Okay, Penn State. Yeah, so what the other one they got them taking is the one from Ohio State, right? Or is it the guy from Northwestern?
Northwestern. Number 7, they got the Northwestern guy.
Okay.
And then
you said the Eagles, they got the Eagles taking Jalen Carter from Clemson?
They had the Philadelphia Eagles taking Clemson defensive end Miles Murphy.
Miles Murphy. Wow. They ain't got us taking Brian Reese? Wow.
No, I don't. No, they do not. And then to round out that top 10, at number 10, the Green Bay Packers take TCU receiver Quentin Johnson.
Quentin
Packers
Johnson,
finally take a receiver at 10.
Nah, that's not the Packer way.
That's the thing about these mock drafts. They always, they don't put those into effect. They never count those.
Yeah, it's not the Packer way. They will not take a wide receiver in the first round. It's not their way. It's not what they do.
No, it's not their way.
Mine's has Will Anderson actually being the first pick of the draft.
It's funny you say that because this one has him going second. They have him going second to Carolina.
They got Bryce Young going second and CJ Stroud going third and Will Levis going fourth.
Yeah, they got the one I'm looking at here. Detroit takes Anthony Richardson from Florida. I don't know why.
How they got Anthony Richardson as a top draft, as a first round draft pick? The hell?
I mean, I don't know why that is, but just for some reason it is. You have, but you know what? It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. They also have Jalen Carter going to Steelers at 4. Defensive lineman. Big defensive lineman.
Yeah.
They got CJ Stroud going to the Raiders at 3. Will Anderson going to the Panthers at 2. And then Bryce Young going to the Texans at 1. That's the one I'm looking at.
Okay.
But anyway, we have about 2 minutes left here on the Sports Angle on PR Connections Radio, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rickelli. Now, Dennis Holmes, we have about 90 seconds left. So tell everyone around the world where they can find you and any projects you are currently working on.
Listen, this is the Ignorant Thinker podcast. I am Dennis Holmes. Projects that I'm working on. I got some things in the work, but it's not like fully in effect yet, so we ain't gonna talk about it. But I'm just gonna let you know that every Saturday morning, make sure y'all check out the Side Jump. Each and every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Ignorant Thinker podcast Facebook page. Check out the Side Jump. Stay on that Facebook page. Hit like, subscribe, and share on that Facebook page because on Tuesday I come right back to you with Talk You-ish Tuesday. And I want you to stick around because on Mondays I do June's Monday quarterback with my guy June. So that's every Monday during the football season. And on Saturday nights, I also come to you Saturday morning. I also come to you Saturday night with Buck Flair, where I do the Buck Flair show. And we sit back and we go over every game of this week and we give out our score predictions each and every Saturday night. And on Wednesdays, we have Wild Wednesday. So Talk You-ish Tuesday and Wild Wednesday. Both shows have been going on for 4 years straight. We both of those shows in season 4.
And I will say, by the way, Dennis, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. You're always welcome back anytime to Sports Angle on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. Of course, I'm your host, Ian Rickelli. Follow me on social media at Ian Rickelli18. And until next time, have a great weekend. Stay safe and continue watching football.